Good afternoon and live from Texas, this is the Will Cain Show. It's Veterans Day. President Trump spending the morning honoring our troops and renewing the spirit of our forces with a battle cry.
Mr. President, why don't you drop an ooh-rah real quick?
I will. Hoorah!
Hey, why don't you give him another ooh-rah, Mr. President?
Hoorah!
And how about one last ooh-rah for the crowd?
You want me to do another one? I'll do another one. Hoorah!
Some good news for our military worried about missing a paycheck. The long-awaited end to the longest shutdown in history is here. Sort of. Last night, the Senate passed legislation to reopen the government with a 60-40 vote with the help of 8 Democrats. But it could last a few more days. Members of the House return to D.C. to vote on it tomorrow. And with that end in sight, many are asking, what was it all about? Why did we suffer a government shutdown? Well, it was laid out plainly in the New York Times by Ezra Klein. He wrote, Democrats were winning the shutdown. Why did they fold? To understand why, he writes, this shutdown will end with such a whimper. You need to understand the strange role of the ACA subsidies. Democrats said the shutdown was about the subsidies, but for most of them, it wasn't. It was about Trump's authoritarianism. It was about showing their base and themselves that they could fight back. It was about treating an abnormal political moment abnormally. There it is, laid plainly in black and white. It wasn't about Obamacare. It was about Trump derangement syndrome. And there is no coverage nor any cure to our knowledge at this point under Obamacare or any other health care coverage for Trump derangement syndrome. John Fetterman, one of the 8 Democrats who voted with Republicans to reopen the United States government, has said it shouldn't have been about Trump derangement syndrome. It should have been about everyday Americans.
Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight?
I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations. The reality is 42 million Americans now not sure where their next meal is going to come from. And because we vote like that, or people that haven't been paid for 5 weeks now, and that kinds of chaos. Those workers have to borrow more than $500 million, from their credit union just to pay their bills.
The political class has lost sight of those everyday Americans, of those workers. Yes, they suffer from TDS. President Trump points out they're pure lunatics.
He just went too far. He thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him. But he did think that we have good policy, they have bad policy. And there's something, I don't know if it's Trump derangement or are they just crazed. They're like crazed lunatics.
That craze has forced them, has shoved them, has cornered them into now ensuring, in order to get their fight, in order to push back on their boogeyman of authoritarianism, in order to fight Donald Trump, they've made clear they'll let Americans suffer.
Many of my friends are unhappy. They think we should have kept our government closed indefinitely to protest the policies of the Trump administration. I share their opinions of this administration, but cannot accept a strategy which wages political battle at the expense of my neighbor's paycheck or the food for his children.
But those neighbors and those friends and those American workers don't have microphones, and they currently don't seem to be voting in Congress, because those that are in front of microphones stick with their lunacy.
I want to speak with my senator who just voted to kill 55,000 people a year. They just put us through specifically Senator King, because they just put us through 5 weeks of suffering to just say, okay. That's fine. We'll just let it slide. We'll just take away everyone's health care. He's a traitor, and people will die because of him.
Moving beyond Trump derangement syndrome, there is an interesting conversation, an important conversation about the future of American health care over Obamacare. And I don't know about you, but I would need to start at square number one. How did we get here? How did it get out of control? What was the failure of Obamacare? Let's go back in time.
If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you will be able to keep your health care plan, period. I will not sign a plan that adds one dime to our deficits, either now or in the future. The only thing this plan would eliminate is the hundreds of billions of dollars in waste and fraud, as well as unwarranted subsidies in Medicare that go to insurance companies.
Is that the way it played out over the last 15 years? Well, let's go over to the wall and take a look. First of all, it's plainly untrue that if you liked your health care plan or that you liked your doctor, you'd be able to keep them. Once Obamacare was instituted in 2013, almost immediately 2.6 million Americans lost their insurance on the individual insurance market. The vast majority of Americans get their health care coverage through their employer, but there were those among us who bought individual plans, who were promised that they could keep their doctor or they could keep their plan. It wasn't true for 2.6 million Americans. And we move forward in time, and Obamacare offered tax credits to those that bought plans through the Affordable Care Act, through the exchange, through Obamacare. And on paper, it looked pretty good. When you brought in the average premium tax credit, it looked like what you'd be paying for your premiums ranged from $153 to $113, affordable to most Americans. There's been a lot of talk about subsidies and whether or not the subsidies that were extended during COVID would continue. Now, if those subsidies do not continue, if they expire as they are set to do and as they were written in legislation to do, well, the market is unsustainable. The actual average monthly premium after expired tax credits looks like you'd be paying well over $600 a month in insurance. Still, the question sits there on the table for me and for you. How did Obamacare end up jacking up the prices for health care after promising to solve coverage and prices for all Americans? Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.